Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Raiders video. In this video, I'll be talking about the Raiders-Chargers game recap, so let's get into it. So as I mentioned, in the game preview, I went to this game, pretty electric atmosphere. I'd say it was pretty split, probably a bit more Raiders fans, but, it got pretty loud, for being, even. We'll have to see how it would be if, it was fully, like a home team or home game for one of the teams. But regardless, pretty ugly performance here. Still had a chance to win. Seems very much like the same game how we played last week. Also the same game how we played against the Chargers last year in week 1. Down badly and down 24-7 at the end of the first. Looking like the Chargers could blow it open. Got the ball back to start the second half, hoping we can go down the field. And it got sacked twice in that first drive without even getting a first down. So, already showed that, maybe it might not be a good half. But the defense stepped up, allowed 0 points in the second half. Played pretty well in the second half against Pittsburgh last week as well. And as I mentioned, week 1 last year, down, I believe 17-3 at half. But the defense allowed 1 touchdown after that. And then didn't allow points for the rest of the game. But back to this game, the defense played, I think, really well. Sure, they allowed 24 points in the first half, but 14 of those points the Chargers got on short fields, by 2 forced fumbles, where they recovered at the Raiders 35 and 41-yard line respectively. So that was 2 short fields for them to work with. Besides that, 14 points allowed. Sure, the first drive, a costly penalty, you gave them a touchdown instead of a field goal. Got a sack on third down. Would have been the end of the drive. They would have got a field goal. But dumb penalty on David Long, and they got a touchdown on that drive instead of a field goal. Shut down in the second half. Really surprised to see Herbert only had 167 yards. I had thought he had way more. And 50 of that came on the final play of the game, which maybe should not have counted. A little bit of push off there. Thing I was upset about was they called that an offensive, or they didn't call a penalty on that, but they called the offensive pass interference on the deep shots to Jakobi Meyers. Not sure if he actually caught it. From my angle, it looked like he did. But even then, shouldn't have not been OPI. Maybe should have been defensive pass interference. Even then, would have been 3rd and 2 instead of 2nd and 12. So, would have loved to not have those yards taken away. Regardless, not a thing I like there with the penalty. But you saw almost 2 deep shots, at least 2. One to Jakobi, one to Devontae. Both dangerous throws. I won't lie, probably both of them I'd say were a dumb decision. But he showed the willingness to throw down the field like Garoppolo did not show. So overall, I like that O'Connell did do that because the defense had to actually think about that, right? Not exactly the case when Garoppolo was playing. I mentioned that Aiden O'Connell might have a higher long in this game than Garoppolo has had all season. His long was 32, which came against Pittsburgh. On the first Vontae Adams touchdown. Well, those throws were both over 32 yards right away. So, he definitely threw the ball deep when he had to. But besides that, I think he checked down a lot. Kind of expected from a young guy. Not really looking down the field as much, pressure coming in. I thought he didn't do exactly the best job in pocket presence or movement, but even then, they gave him no time. The O-line allowed 0 sacks in 2 games, and then even after allowing 4 in last week, week 3, still you could say allowed 4 in 3 games. All that, for them to allow 7 sacks in 1 game. The one game your rookie quarterback is playing, you don't have an experienced guy in there, and you allow 7 sacks, 6 of them to 1 player. So, not the greatest time to have an offensive line while they're there. Our O-line still is not the greatest at run blocking, but the pass blocking was supposed to be good enough, but, shut down completely. This cannot be a year where our O-line is completely not good at all. Because, you have to at least good at pass protection. We can actually, save Garoppolo from getting injured too often, at least. And if O'Connell's playing, we can give him time. Because I think O'Connell will eventually start again this year. Whether they just want to see what he has, if the season is over or about to be over. Or, the Garoppolo gets hurt again. Because we already saw they started Hoyer. Or they did not start Hoyer. So I would hope if Garoppolo went down, they would do the same thing. Because I think O'Connell did enough to ensure that if they need a backup, he'd be the backup again. But we could just see if he goes back to being the emergency quarterback, which wouldn't make much sense to me because, if you actually chose to start him over Hoyer, I guess he should be your official quarterback too. But regardless of what they do there, I thought O'Connell didn't look all too bad. Sure, he didn't make a lot of difficult throws. 24 completions. You could say only about 5-6 throws were actually difficult throws, but showed the willingness to throw down the field. Was not really rattled by the the sacks. I know he had 3 fumbles, but he was trying to throw the ball on one of them. One of them he dropped back. Arm was going forward, trying to throw the ball. He got hit in the back, so that's not what I can blame on him. One of them, he completely just lost the ball. I saw some people trying to say it was a tuck rule. Not really. He just lost the ball, and it was not an incomplete pass. That was a fumble for sure. That was pretty bad ball security there. But the other one, can't really blame him on. the sack right in the beginning of the third quarter, first play. I couldn't even see how that happened, so I'm not sure what to say there. But the fumbles don't really worry me. I've said it since I've been on YouTube. I don't care if a quarterback fumbles and trying to throw the ball. I can't, like, any quarterback will fumble if they get hit while they're trying to throw the ball. So I don't really care about that. What I do care is that they recovered and scored on both of those fumbles. The two that they recovered. So that is something that hurt us a lot. Obviously, still almost won this game somehow. Like, we did not play that well, to be quite honest with you. But I guess the Chargers just played that bad in the second half. Still had a chance to win. Still really should have won. I mean, first and goal at the 3-yard line. Josh Jacobs actually was getting going. I don't even finish with 3.4 yards of carry, but the guy was getting going late in that game. Thought first and goal at the 3-yard line, you would run the ball. Now they passed the shirt, right? But I don't get why they would do a play action rollout. Not play action, but a rollout. The same play they did in the previous drive that didn't work, where everyone was covered. O'Connell threw it away. Smart move there, but still, it was covered. Why would they go back to it again? Not sure. Even then, Jacoby Myers not looking back to the ball. I don't know what happened there. Maybe like he thought it was a different play. He was the main read on that play. Like Devontae Adams was blocking. Trey Tucker was completely out of the play. So I don't know what Myers was doing on that play. Regardless, not a great play call. Not great by Myers there. I think the O'Connell pick, should not really happen. So really, he should not have any picks in this game. Even though he did throw some dangerous balls in there. So overall, again, O'Connell with a solid performance. The offense with a weird performance. Probably, I'd say, more bad than good. Run game got going late, but still not good. I think it's a pretty bad Chargers team. Cannot pick them apart like I thought they would. Devontae Adams had a pedestrian game, and Jacoby Myers only had 2 catches. Although the thing I will say is O'Connell came in for 1 game and already spread the ball out more than Garoppolo did. Hunter Renfrow had 4 targets. Sure, he had O'Connell had some bad throws behind receivers. Play Devontae Adams on injured on. If you let that throw a little bit more, that should have been caught. Hunter Renfrow on 3rd and 1. Late in the second quarter, that should have been caught. That should have been a better throw, and it was dropped. Well, dropped. Can't really blame that on Renfrow. A tight end had a catch, which did not happen last week, and he did feed Jacobs, but still, like even Jakob Johnson had a catch. Should have got 2, but he dropped 1. Amir Abdullah got in there as well. So I like how we spread the ball around. It wasn't just Devontae Adams, even though he had 13 targets. It wasn't just Jacoby Myers as a second guy. Like Hunter Renfrow had the same amount of catches as him. So I like how he tried to spread the ball around, as I kind of thought he would do. Again, the defense played well, but just a really ugly game. Penalties did not help us at all. The Jerry Taylor thing was stupid from the second it happened. Like I can't even lie. Like I agree with the call of ejecting him. I'll not be surprised if they suspend him. Although now I'd be kind of surprised, at this point in the week. But definitely will get fined and all that type of stuff. Don't really like Taylor anyway, so that's what I can't say there. I understand there's some personal stuff probably between him and the Chargers. The running defense looked pretty good. Darius Davis made their run game look a little bit stronger with 51 rushing yards. But overall, we were good. Like, the tackling was really bad in this game. I don't know what happened. Now, here's the thing, right? The Raiders always are a team that will miss opportunities on defense. Miss sacks. Like, on 3rd and 1, Von Yell literally hits Justin Herbert and stays on his feet, goes the other way and throws Quentin Johnston. I'm not surprised. That's what our defense allows. What I am surprised is how many tackles we gave up after the catch or, during the run, right, of running back. Like, okay, we miss sacks. I'm used to that. But missing tackles all these times is annoying me way too much. Like, the defense played pretty good, and we still had all those mistakes. Like, if only we could actually finish on a play, we could be way better defense. We could have 1-2 sacks, only by one guy. Like, there's only 3 sacks that have happened by someone else, other than Max Crosby this season. And 2 of them are linebackers. So, and one of them was a coverage sack by Jerry Tillery. So, I'll have to show more in pass rush. However, Tyree Wilson looked a little bit better off the film. I'm saying better in run defense. I like that. So, maybe he is actually getting a little bit better. Maybe we were wrong about him. Maybe we should wait to the end of the year. But by the end of the year, I don't think he'll be that good yet. However, he's showing signs. I love to see it. We're now 1-3. Not a good record. Not a record that says your season is over. But for me, the way we played has signified that our season is going to be over. Sooner rather than later, we'll get a season and be like, oh, it's a lost season. For me, I still want to win every game, but going forward, I really don't have the faith in this team. I really didn't have it when the season started. I didn't even have it after we beat the Broncos. I thought we'd lose that game in the 3rd quarter of that game. We haven't won since then, and we've seen how bad the Broncos have been. I don't care if they came back against the Bears. They're a horrible team. We beat them by 1 point. We dropped 17 on them. At first, I'm like, 17 points on the great Broncos defense is pretty good. Yeah, come to find out they're a really bad defense. Commanders, what they did. The Dolphins, what they did. Even the Bears, what they did. So, and the Bears are not a good offense either. We have not scored 20 points this year, and that's the offense that's supposed to carry this defense since all the money's going there. The defense honestly hasn't even played that bad the last 2 weeks. But even then, Ino doesn't have the talent to sustain a whole year of playing solid. So eventually, I don't even know if we'll be playing close games like this because, to be honest, we played bad. You know what I mean? So just got lucky that Brandon Staley almost got them back in the game. And also, they didn't really execute that well. It's a really, really ugly game. Could have still won somehow. They don't really deserve to, but offense has to play better. I don't care who the quarterback is. Pass protection has to be way better. Like they were 2 weeks ago. You know, crazy turn of events there. Went from one of the best pass protecting O-lines to one of the worst in a span of 2 weeks. So, gotta do better there. Gotta run the ball better still. Jacobs has turned into a great receiving back. I mean, he kind of was in 2021. Last year got even better. This year looks even better. So, I like to see that. Maybe for once he can actually catch a receiving touchdown because it annoys me how he doesn't have one yet in his career. However, 1-3. Tough break here. Monday Night Football against the Packers. Still excited no matter what. Anyway, this is my Raiders-Chargers Week 4 game recap. I'm Marto, and thank you for watching.